So being chosen is radically different than being tolerated, right? I mean, have you ever walked into a room and like immediately started checking the emotional weather? Not because anyone said anything, not because anything was wrong either, but because some part of you was trying to figure out whether you were actually like welcome there, right? A lot of people grow up in environments where they weren't necessarily like rejected, but they weren't deeply chosen either. I mean, they were pretty much like accommodated, right? Included when convenient, like allowed to exist, tolerated. Right, and here's the tricky thing, right? When tolerance is all that you've known, it can feel a lot like love. It's kind of like being like a house plant sitting in the corner of someone's living room, right? Nobody kicks you over, nobody throws you away, but nobody waters you either, right? You're technically still in the room, but you're not being actively cared for. Then one day you experience being chosen, right? Maybe it's a friend who texts first, right? A partner who genuinely wants to know your thoughts, a mentor who sees something in you, a community that celebrates your presence instead of merely enduring it. And suddenly, like your nervous system goes, wait, this exists? What? Yeah, this does. Like research on attachment tells us that human beings aren't simply wired for proximity, right? We are wired for connection. We're wired for responsiveness and attunement. So, in other words, we're not just out here looking for a seat at the table. We're looking for evidence that someone is actually glad that we're there, right? And when you have spent years, dear, like surviving on emotional crumbs, a full meal, it can feel suspicious, right? You may question it, you may distrust it, wait for it to disappear because your internal world, it learned to navigate shallow water. And now that you're standing in an ocean that actually has depth, being chosen, it doesn't mean people agree with you all the time. It doesn't mean perfection. It does not mean like never having conflict either. It means that your presence is valued, right? Your existence, it's not something that people just put up with. It's something that they genuinely welcome. And once you've experienced the difference, it's very hard to convince yourself that, well, tolerance and connection are the same damn thing ever again. So here's a tiny practice for you, my love. Just take a moment and ask yourself, like, where in my life do I feel merely accommodated? And where do I feel genuinely wanted? Right? Just notice what happens in your body as you answer each of these questions. Right? Your nervous system, it often recognizes the difference before your mind does. So really pay attention to your body. Right? Love, you were never like meant to spend your life auditioning for belonging. So let today be the day that we stop that and check in with yourself. I love you, you're beautiful, and you, my dear, are chosen.